Hey guys, this is John.
And Austin.
And this is another episode of the Meatgistics podcast sponsored by Walton's. Specifically, Walton's Ultimate Steak and Roast Rub. The best steak seasoning, and what a coincidence here. We have a gorgeous ribeye.
It does look beautiful.
So this was part of a primal that I put into, half of a ribeye roll that I put into a dry ager. We had it in there for 40 days. 2 days short of 40 days, but whatever, 40 days. So we reverse seared it, had it on our Camp Chef smoker at 200 for about an hour, and then finished it up on the side sear box just in a pan, because I hate doing ribeyes on a grill because the fat always goes down and scorches everything.
Have we done a podcast since Thanksgiving? Oh my goodness, my brain's not working.
We've definitely done
a few
since Thanksgiving. I'm pretty sure
Since Valentine's Day.
That was the 14th. That was last Friday or last Wednesday.
So that would have been after we recorded the podcast. Okay, so I have this.
You have a great story.
Steak story.
So
let's go.
I think we talked about it on the podcast. I went and got Wagyu steaks. My wife had never had it, and I'm like, "You need to." And she kept telling me, "No, don't do it." And I was like, "It's Valentine's Day. I'm gonna do it. You can't tell me no." So went and got Wagyu steaks. Wagyu steaks are very fatty. I have an issue with sear boxes. This is an accident with my sear box. This is not the first sear box accident I've had in the last month. But long story short, I ended up I had the whole grill on fire. It was bad. I was like, I don't know what to do. I was like, this is gonna get too hot. I'm gonna be a problem. I have like a covered patio, and I'm like, it's far away. It's far away, but I'm still like nervous.
Yeah.
And so I went and I had a sanitizer bottle that was almost empty. So I dumped the rest of it out, filled it up with water, and I'm out there spraying the grill, and through the little vent holes on the back, I'm spraying and I'm watching. It's just flame. The inside is just flame. And I'm just spraying in there. And I finally, I got the fire to go down, but I emptied like a whole bottle of water on the thing.
Don't they always say don't add water to a grease fire?
I needed it to cool down. It was so hot.
So
hot.
And grab was baking soda or something like that.
That would have been better.
Yeah.
So we have these like emergency like fire extinguisher things. Not a fire extinguisher, but a fire extinguisher. I don't know.
You throw it in there and it gets all hot. And it goes,
No. There's this thing.
No.
There's a bomb you throw in that it sucks.
Bombs are probably the wrong word.
No, but it's like a ball that explodes and it sucks all the oxygen out and it puts out the fire instantly.
Obviously, would ruin your steak. And maybe.
So see,
steak ruined at that
I
point
got
anyway.
the steaks out.
Oh, good.
And I didn't. They weren't too bad. There was only one steak that took some serious damage. I ate that one.
So you went back to the women and the children and the steaks.
Yeah.
I was like, hold on. Did the dog survive this fire?
Who cares?
The steak is the dog.
Steaks what matters.
But steak was delicious. It was awesome. But I didn't want to spray like the chemical extinguisher in there because I'm like, this is going to ruin my grill. I'm never going to be able to cook on it again. And I just couldn't think, but I was like, I have steak inside. I want to eat. And I was like, water and grease fire is not good. But I was like, if I do small amounts, and I also thought if I sprayed it on the like exhaust ports, that would like also kind of
like help cool it down,
block the oxygen from going back in because it's going to be steaming, and so it can't get in or out, and it'll cut the oxygen to it. I don't know.
I don't think that's accurate.
There was a lot of things going through my brain.
That one is at all correct. All right, try some of the spinalis. So this is the best cut of all of that. I chose this one for us to have. The steaks I cut up for you and Dylan are a little bit thinner than this. I made this one a little thicker. While I've been very vocal recently about my preference of strip steak over ribeye, this makes me think I'm dead wrong because the spinalis on a 40-day dry aged steak is phenomenal.
That is good. I will say though, I also ended up buying like an extra set of like small steaks. I bought like big ribeyes for Valentine's Day.
You don't think this is good because you've been eating Wagyu constantly.
And then I bought like small ones because I was like, I would try something different. So bought like these little small Delmonicos and had those last night.
Yeah.
And so I eat that and it's good, but it's not as good.
You've ruined your
It is
taste buds.
not as good.
What?
Not even close.
What seasoning do you use?
So last night I just used salt and pepper.
Okay.
Because I was like, I don't want to.
I think that's what you're supposed to do with Wagyu.
Yeah. It's just, it has so much flavor in it. Like, I don't want to hide it at all.
Mhm.
I just want to add some saltiness. And I feel like if you add salt, you have to. You have to add a little pepper.
I saw
But appreciate the texture of that.
on YouTube with Wagyu, they prepare it, at least in this one particular video at this one particular restaurant in Japan, where it was like more of a square cut.
Yeah.
And then they like really broke it down. Like he
They have
sliced it
5 different-
and then very like try that sliver, try that sliver, try that. So, and by the end of it, you eat all of it, but it's over probably the course of a 20-30 minute little mini meal, but looked really good. But at the same time, I kind of like, I want the whole thing and kind of carving the carcass. That's part of the,
That's why Japanese people are so
Experience.
small. They eat slow. Just eat
well, how do you
faster.
explain sumo drivers?
I don't explain sumo drivers at all. I don't think they're a thing, Patrick.
This sounds really cool. I want to know what they are.
You got to wait for the movie.
That sounds more like a video game. But sounds awesome.
I would take this over Wagyu if you want to eat a lot, though. Because, like, with Wagyu, like, I only want, like, 8 to 10 ounces. It gets, I don't know.
Well, let me tell
I
you
don't
this.
know,
If you want 8 to 10 ounces of this, you better start eating because I am housing this thing.
Yeah, it's hard to eat a lot of it because of the texture and the fattiness and everything. This, I could eat 2 pounds of this. This is amazing. Don't get me wrong. Incredible
It's like
steak.
when something's too rich, like fudge or something. Like,
Sure.
I can only have like
Yeah.
a little bit of it.
From somebody who does not eat Wagyu very often, this is the best steak I've had in a while. So dry age, absolutely perfect.
You know, you might have to do this again because to do an actual good control test on it, you need to cut a slice off of a rib roll,
Okay.
vac pack it, and just throw it in the freezer.
Ah,
And then do a dry age one because then you get the actual texture difference.
okay.
Because I've had a number of steaks in the last few months that I looked at and I was like, "This is gonna be good." And then when I ate it, like it was tough.
Yeah.
Like texture was off. So it can really depend upon like just what cut did you get.
Sure. It also, and there's no way for me to say this without sounding cocky. Those steaks weren't cooked by me. So there's just a possibility that you've become accustomed to a certain level of tenderness in your steak that you were not able to provide for yourself.
I'm surprised you like overcooked this for John.
So that's why we had to try to get you back here earlier than regular.
It just went way too
It
fast.
just went faster than I was expecting it to. I guess it'd been a while since I'd cooked a steak this thick, and I overestimated how long that was going to take. But even like, I think the fat is better on the dry aged steak. It kind of pops almost.
Yeah. I wish I knew. Yeah. I knew more about how that works, but don't know. But I would agree.
All right. But the problem is right now I have an empty dry curing cabinet since I pulled this out yesterday. What goes in there next?
Aren't there 2 back there? Or is one of them the old one?
There are currently 2 back there. We are waiting on an answer from a vendor who just sent us the second one, but we're pretty sure they're out. Oh, no!
Not me.
So unprofessional.
It's Josh from the retail store.
Answer it. Put them on.
No.
Put 'em on speaker.
No.
I've only done that like once, maybe twice. I think I
A
answered.
live stream.
It was a live stream?
Yeah.
Answered when it was Mike from Pass It On, I believe. Yeah.
Did you see I almost got an Instagram account banned?
What? What did you do?
Our Instagram account? What?
Ours. Mike sent me a request. He was like, hey, do you guys want to promote this like you've done in the past for us since the Pass It On Outdoor Mentor Gun a Week raffle? I was like, sure. Yeah, whatever. So I took a screenshot of what he sent me and posted it to both Instagram and Facebook. And he called me while I was in a meeting with Andrew and was like, hey, you're going to want to take that down. He's like, they do not look kindly on that. I was like, oh, yeah. Did not think of that.
Because it's a gun giveaway.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
So by the time I'd gotten to it, they'd already removed it on Instagram.
Really?
Yep. And I just took it down from Facebook.
Interesting.
That is, I've never even thought of that.
I don't understand that. How?
Often does my personal Instagram account get suspended? Quite often.
How do they do that? How do they get away with that?
You post on the internet?
Because they claim to be like, I don't know. This gets into a whole weed of things. They claim, what do they exactly claim to be? And they claim like freedom of like
whether
press
it's publisher
and
or not.
speech and everything. And then yet they control stuff, but they claim they don't.
Yeah, if they're actually
That's a whole
protected by, what is it? I can't think of there was a ruling that gave them immunity, something immunity, but whatever. Yeah. Once you start editorializing stuff, you're a publisher in my mind.
Yeah.
But
I don't know.
then the same goes for Meatgistics.
It's
So it's
true.
hard.
But yeah, I don't know.
All right. But
I don't know.
what should the next thing in there be? Because if no one gives me anything, I'm going getting some ham and I'm doing prosciutto and that thing's locked up for 180 days.
That's a long time.
It is.
We gotta wait on that, or do it on one of the. Can you do it on the old one? I don't care if you do it on the old one. We got two.
I'm worried that your father has the old one. I'm
We have
worried
the
that
old big one, don't we?
the tall one.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's in there.
you could do like 4 hams in that.
Yeah, but here's the problem. I'm worried that thing could not regulate humidity. It said it could. It could not. So I'm just going to mold out those hams.
That's true.
So I needed something that
High
actually...
risk, high reward.
So yes, but the failure is going to hurt me so bad that I don't think I'm going to be able to deal with it. I love prosciutto so much.
How I don't know. We'll have to figure out what do we have on like inventory of like salami, pepperoni, and stuff.
Do you mean as far as like what I have made?
Mm-hmm.
We don't have much pepperoni left.
Because what if we just go through and just like max it out, make as much as we can? Because does the big one work for that? Then is that
the big one in there?
Yeah.
No, we're getting rid of that at some point.
So we don't trust that. So we're only going to use like the small one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then whatever, because you're not going to make a big enough batch of anything.
No, the most I think I can get in there is like 14 pounds.
Okay.
So
I don't know.
17 pounds. Yeah, it was 17 pounds. And I probably could get more of that in there. We should do like I'll choose them. The last time I did it, I did 38, 42 millimeter hog casings. This time I'll do like something a little bit smaller and just see what is the max amount, if I'm very careful, that I can get everything in there without touching.
Well, what if you don't even do it in a natural hog casing? Have you tried the inedible collagen?
I haven't tried the inedible collagen.
Because if you do the inedible collagen, then you've got like uniformity. I mean, that's how you're going to max it out.
I did do collagen though, and it worked great.
You just do collagen either.
Yeah, regular collagen worked great.
Okay. Have you done like a wine salami?
No, because we don't sell one.
Well, don't you just take a salami seasoning and add wine to it?
Yeah, that's generally what you do. But we used to have Italian red wine salami seasoning. Stopped carrying it, so it's like, don't do it. There are also additional difficulties with that. You have to add the culture and the wine very far apart in the mixing process. Otherwise, the culture basically gets drunk and does nothing.
Sweet.
Why is that awesome?
I wish I could like actually see what was going on there.
Wow.
Like it just, yeah.
Well, what are you like?
Letting them have a party. What
is alcohol? It's yeast. It's a excretion of yeast when it eats sugar, right? So this is just the other end of that. It's eating that and then going to being lazy.
Yeah.
Or it could do cardio. You could drink and do cardio. I'm telling you, it's the wave of the future. All right. All right. We'll just go back through. We'll make more pepperoni since that seemed to be. I was trying to explain this to.
That or your Willy stuff. The Willy stuff was amazing. That was.
Oh, you really like that?
I really.
I've got tons of that.
Yeah, but we had pepperoni. It's hard to beat pepperoni.
It's hard to beat pepperoni.
You can't have too much pepperoni.
I was talking to Process Head and Tex this weekend. They called me. They were together and taunting me about the fact
that's
that
cute. They were together.
They were. I don't know if they went up to his hunting cabin or if they were just at his house doing stuff. But I was talking to them about the difference between like a a really good representation of what dry cured sausage could be, and like a really good tasting dry cured sausage. Like the Landjaeger looked great, perfect consistency, like all of that, but not very flavorful, right? It didn't have a ton of like pop to it or anything. It was just kind of like, yeah, that's a dry cured sausage. Whereas the Willys, not as good, quote unquote, but the taste was a lot better. So just interesting.
Yeah.
Also, Excalibur sent us some formulations for snack sticks, summer sausage, bologna, and hams using celery juice powder. So in the next couple of days, week here, I'm going to make celery juice powder snack sticks.
Okay.
Should be interesting.
We'll talk more on that because in the email you sent me, I didn't understand what you meant.
I'm pretty sure I said just that. Didn't I? Oh, and the fact that the hams make me nervous.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know about using celery juice powder in hams. Like that just, like I wouldn't use Sure Cure in ham, right? I'm using a cure. I'm using sweeter than sweet cure. Everything is mixed together. Nitrite's already in it. I don't have to worry about adding anything. I'm not going to create my own ham from my own ham brine other than the cure by hand.
Oh, so the only difference between like a complete cure, like a Blue Ribbon Maple Bacon and Sure Cure, is Blue Ribbon Maple Bacon has other flavoring and sugar and extra salt. There's more of everything else in it.
Right.
So Sure Cure's same thing going in. You just got to still add like some of those other things.
Right. I don't want to do that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. That makes me nervous.
Okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Think
now. I have no idea. I was like, I don't know. I was like, is he just like scared to make this? Like,
how often does that happen where you have no idea what I'm talking about in an email?
Not super often. Okay. I usually can put it together.
I can answer this question.
Well, hold on, because you're my problem here. Did you see my email about the free shipping we did last Wednesday and the stats I looked into on it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Did that all make sense to you?
Yeah.
I worded that so carefully because I knew he was just going to be like, you just tell me. Like, no, you have to read it.
Dude, and then like it made no sense. Like I read it 3 times.
Perfect sense.
It might make perfect. To me, it made no sense. As someone who's I think of pretty interesting things visually to put on a screen, and he's sending me words about percentages from this week to that week, and I went, "What are you talking about, dude?" And then he said everything he needed to from his email in a sentence that was at the end of a paragraph. We were talking face to face, and I went, "Oh, I know everything you need."
It's called a wrap up.
Yeah, you surmised it perfectly, but he said what was in the email, but I learned face to face, and
you need to put it into Excel and get one of those like 3D bar chart things so he can see the picture.
Chart.
Yeah,
Now
not just talking. Like a line graph or a bar chart.
Even what
3D.
Pat was showing me in Excel yesterday, and there's numbers on it. And I go, okay, what's better? Something's obviously better than something else. Point to the better. Like I get what we're trying to do. But the exact number of it doesn't make a difference to me. So
we're trying to help you develop new skills.
At 32 years old, you're gonna let me look.
Dude, I'm 45. I'm 44.
I'm just saying. No, I told you this guy listen, what we have here in John, he's a great utility hitter. He's a computer teacher. That's all this guy is. Mr. Walford in 8th grade, that's what this guy is, dude. He goes around, he could tell you everything about, I mean, just list it.
I was telling him some stuff about how to use Excel.
No. He wasn't saying anything. This guy was blazing through as if, I mean, Flash Gordon can go faster on this Excel spreadsheet, dude. This was wild. And he's like, oh, you just do this, and he's in a dialogue box, and then he's putting, hold on, you just got to do this really quick. And he's clicked more things than I've done in an hour at work in this 20-second thing on Excel.
Formulas.
Yeah, dude.
That's it.
No, don't. That's it. Like it's not. It's hard.
You could figure it out if you wanted to in a day.
For sure, but I don't.
But I don't want to.
But I don't. But I don't.
I got other stuff. You guys, hey, just fairly, it never said I was an Excel expert on my.
That's fair.
Ever.
That's fair. I don't think it came up at all.
Now, I think it should be on yours, though.
I'm definitely not an expert.
The best thing you do here, Excel.
Absolutely not.
Oh, dude, you're my closer on Excel. That's all. In fact,
I'm barely above average.
I'm going to pitch you an idea. And we'll stop talking about it. But like, you get him in a room, shut it. The only thing he does is Excel. This company's going to make a lot of money, dude. And think of all the positives. We don't have to see them. One, we don't have to listen to them. Two, we don't have to hear them try to explain that 25% is more than 19% to me in an email, 3 sentences long.
All right.
We put you and Andrew and Chris all in the same room.
Chris is better than I am.
With a tasked Excel project and see who can complete it the fastest.
Chris would win.
No.
Chris would win.
No.
Yes. All right. I was wearing my Meatgistics hoodie at where was I? I was checking out somewhere.
Did you get noticed?
And some guy goes, "Oh, Meatgistics." And I was like, "You know that?"
No.
And he's like, "No." Or he goes like, "Meatgistics, like logistics of meat." And I was like, "You got that?" I'm like, "Do you know us?" And he's like, "No." He's like, "It's kind of unfortunate." And I was like, "What?" Like, I'm pretty sure he was a vegan or something because like just looking at him and stuff. But he picked it right out.
That's cool.
Now it was probably because it said Meatgistics, not like all the way across.
I am kind of digging the square logo.
We're using the square more and more. It's better. Like, this is a good logo. Pat did a great job on the redesign, but the square with the word just works better. It's more clear. But anyways, it kind of made me fun or made me laugh. I reached out to Greg Henderson from Drovers Magazine about being on the podcast. So hopefully we get a response. Because I was reading an article of his, and I was like, "Oh, I wonder how many of his articles I've read." And I clicked and I looked through, and it was like just a ton, or not a ton, but a good amount of them. And we've been saying for a while we want somebody on who can better explain kind of the market to us, because right now they're happy about a $3 a head loss. So it is improved for ranchers to the point where they're only losing $3 a head, and they're all very happy about that. So how are you making any money?
I think it's all, I don't know.
Mushugana?
Yeah. Some of it's because of how and when they record expenses, and it's like a futures type of thing at times. But ultimately, like, they lose money too often. And it's like, no.
Right. No, you don't.
No.
You can't be. You can't always be losing money.
Yeah. So I don't know how it works. It's confusing.
People sometimes don't realize this or forget it, but accounting is like a creative position.
Yeah. Because to be honest, you can technically lose money for years in a business and be making money hand over fist just because of how you expense things out.
Right.
And what you can legally do with that gets
murky.
Murky. That's a good way to describe it at times. Yeah.
Yeah, we're seeing that in New York right now. Did you hear all the truckers are saying they're not going to New York City? So Wednesday, when it came out, they're like, Trump owes them $350 million or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Truckers are like, we're not going to New York City. And apparently it has caused panic buying in New York City, and shelves are already empty. And there are no new trucks coming in. So New York City is about to tear itself apart. Now, could also be 100% nothing, because they're just going to offer the truck drivers more to bring stuff in. Eventually, there's a number like, "Oh, okay, we'll be there. Right? Like, we'll pay you 3 times your double or your rate." Like, "Yep, all right, I'm on my way."
Yeah, but that's kind of the point.
Sure. Yeah, it's still going to cause pain, but it's not going to be like this big crazy thing. I don't think, at least.
We'll see.
We'll see. I could be wrong. All right. So we all have to take a guess. You two have to take a guess. I already know. What state do you think was hit the hardest by the avian flu this year?
I gotta look at migration patterns.
Patrick's doing Tai Chi back there, by the way.
We play like the Jeopardy background while we're thinking.
Yeah, that's how long we should get. I need visual migration patterns. Ooh. Oh, this is perfect.
Well, Patrick, this is for chicken and turkeys, so
Yeah.
I don't know how migration's going to help you out. Neither one of those migrate.
It would either, I don't know. My thought is it's either somewhere towards the center of the country where we got more farmers and ranchers, or it's on a border, coastal border state that is just a port city. So I would guess California, just because more ports there, more imports things coming in there. So I'm going California.
That was going to be my number 2, but I'll go Indiana.
Close. California is number 2. Kansas is number 3. Ohio is number 1.
Damn.
And it's close. 4.5 million in Ohio to 4.3
Good
million
guesses.
in California.
I like
How's
these guesses.
Kansas?
1.5 million. It's a huge drop off.
Yeah, but still, how is Kansas on that list at all? Are we that big in poultry farming?
Not that I knew of, but yeah, sure.
Okay.
I've never seen a poultry farm in all my travels of Kansas. Although there are no poultry farms between here and my house. So that would be about the extent of where I would see things. Okay. How close do you think the ingredients are between Walton's Ultimate Steak and Roast and Excalibur's regular Ultimate Steak and Roast and Rub?
Oh, they're going to be a little bit different because this is
no. Don't look at
technically-
the ingredients.
I thought it was just a particle size thing. I thought they were the
It's not
exact same.
technically just a particle size thing.
Yeah, not technically.
It's
but-
close.
Whole mustard seed. What else is it?
Okay, they both have mustard seed.
The black peppercorn, whole black peppercorns.
Not whole. No, that would be
Is it
insane.
Partial, like bits of it.
Yeah, it's broken up. So they both have black pepper. Patrick's 2
As
for 2.
does almost every seasoning.
Sure.
They
But he's
start
salt
with
and black
salt.
pepper.
Start with
Okay.
salt.
All right, but that's a big one. What kind of salts?
Oh, dextrose.
Dextrose is not a salt.
Salt, dextrose.
That was
Did I nail it?
No.
Shouldn't be dextrose.
no. There's no dextrose in
Okay.
it. I was
I'm like,
trying
what
not
are we
to be
doing?
mean to Patrick there because he knows so much more about meat processing than he should, just from like listening to stuff.
That was one of the words that you read on the back of his
Right.
ingredient label.
And I wanted to jump on him. I'm like, there's no reason he should know that. Like, why would I be mean to him about that? So sorry about that, Patrick.
No, it's funny. You can be mean to me in your mind and then not say anything.
I
And
can't,
then,
though.
And then we're not like my buddy Greg used to do this thing where he'd go like we're mid argument and he goes, you know what? I'm not even gonna. Like it's so easy. Like it's so easy. There's so much to pick from. He goes, and by saying nothing, that trumps anything he could possibly say. So thanks for doing that. On like you thought of it and went, I can't even.
But then I did.
But then you did anyways.
Right.
Yeah, you kind of.
What do you mean? So that was the nice thing to
You
do.
farted it out. You you're like, never mind. And then you took it back in.
Okay. So what do we think the differences on the salt are?
Oh, I don't know. I mean,
Because it's not just
one
particle size.
is
Celery salt.
Nope. Awesome. Would
no. I would know. That's disgusting. Celery salt's nasty. I don't know. I mean, it's not sea salt.
So one of them is kosher salt.
What does that really mean?
Blessed by a
A
rabbi.
Jewish person made it?
Is
I don't know.
that just the difference?
That was prepared in a kosher plant, I think.
No, I think there is more to it. I do think it
Well, let's look it up. Kosher salt versus sea salt. What's the
who's going to find it first? Kosher salt is
Most
a coarse
consistent.
grain salt that gets its name from its use in the Jewish tradition of koshering. Koshering is the process of preparing meat for consumption in a way that meets Jewish diet. Okay.
So kosher. Well, what I'm looking at,
It's a
kosher's mined and sea salt is
coarser
harvested. They could both be coarse, I think.
Which is interesting because our particles of salt are bigger.
Uh-huh.
So that says specifically it's a coarse ground, and ours are bigger than kosher salt.
Yeah, I don't think the coarseness is the defining characteristic because salt can be. I mean, you could have technically you could mine if it's mined salt, not sea salt, mined salt. You could mine a block of
Right.
salt.
Yeah.
How do you get that into salt that's in your food?
Hit it with a hammer, crush it.
Yeah,
run it
and
through.
some means you crush
Right,
it
yeah,
up,
yeah.
and then you just crush it to the consistency you're looking for. So I don't think
this says specifically kosher is a coarse salt.
I think it could be whatever though.
We'll have to get a rabbi to answer this one. All right. So yeah, kosher salt for the Excalibur one, then dehydrated garlic and onion, black and red pepper, then spices, then including mustard seed. Ours, salt, not kosher, but regular salt, dehydrated garlic and onion, so like the same, but then comes spices before black and red pepper. Then comes mustard seed.
It depends on how that's
So it's spices
including.
are either before or after. We have more spices in ours than black and red pepper they have more black and red pepper than they do spices.
Does theirs list out specifically black and red pepper? Doesn't say including?
Nope, it says black and red pepper.
Huh. Interesting.
So don't know exactly what the difference is. Ours is better. I ran out and I had a big shaker, like a 30 ounce of Excalibur's, and I put it on a steak the other day. I'm like, yeah, it's good. It's just not as good, I don't think. So
my biggest complaint is the particle size. I like something that's dustier. I don't like the big particles.
That's my favorite part. I like the fact that they're big particles.
Yeah, I lost that battle. You should be thankful. I lost that battle.
Thankful.
I don't. When we first did that 15 years ago, like I wanted the smaller particle size, and I lost that.
Did you ever talk to your dad about who was right on whether or not Meatgistics was a name?
Yes.
Okay, what happened?
So what we actually did.
So real quick, just for anyone who missed last week's, Brett had told me that when they were changing the name from Midwestern Research and Supplies, the final two options were between Walton's Inc., which was what we are, and Meatgistics. Go.
He's still wrong, okay. But I don't know. I started down this rabbit hole and then I got stuck and stopped. I need to dig back into it. But when we were looking to change our name from Midwestern Research and Supply, we like legitimately like did this like online contest where we had people submit names and sample logos
Customers
and stuff
and whoever.
We didn't advertise it, so no customers really. We did it just like
internal.
No. Third party outside thing.
Oh, really?
You can there's websites you can go to and like post stuff like that and be like, hey,
did you offer a cash prize?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Do you remember any of the other names that got nominated?
No.
Can we find those?
See that? So that's where I was looking into it. I keep my sent items forever,
right?
Because I'm always paranoid. I'm like, someone's going to come back and say that I said this, and I'm going to go, no, I didn't. Here it is.
Sure.
So I have it going back to probably 2008.
Okay.
But when I was trying to look through my sent items the other day, I could only get like 3 years of history. And I'm like, what happened?
Welcome to Outlook, baby.
Outlook's the worst.
It's
the search.
I might have to download like the actual raw file of my stuff and just sort it by date and go to the very beginning and see what I can find. Because I guarantee I have it in there of sent items going back and forth between me and Brett and some others of the name options. And I just got to find that.
I searched through my Outlook the other day and I can't remember exactly, but it was like mystery something. And I know that was exactly in the document, right? Like that exact. And I put quotation marks around it. I searched it and it brought something up. I was like, oh, I'm like, it had something to do with them. I'm like, I didn't think it did. And there was an attachment on it. So I looked through the email. That phrase was nowhere in there. That phrase was nowhere in the attachment. It was just like, here, take this. Like, what are you talking about?
I got you beat. I have another boss named Todd, right? And
Todd.
I type in Todd and my phone goes, by the way, hundreds of emails back and forth, right? It goes, you mean this guy? And I've never even heard of him. Some other dude named Todd, and he's a contact. I go, why is this guy a contact? Well, he's been like on the 8th thread of an email that doesn't even include me. You know what I mean? Like he CC'd some random. I go, you got that guy, but the guy I talk to weekly on the phone, like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
I'm telling you, it is the worst.
It's troll. Like it purposely wants me to get in a car wreck and die. Like I'm reading that.
He's screaming at the screen. I can see him just getting angrier and angrier.
Just a reminder, most states have a don't text and drive policy, Patrick. Just
not this one though, right?
Oh,
texting. I'm yelling at the assistant on my phone. What are you talking about? Show me.
Do
what
you
I
use that
see.
to read your texts?
No, I'm just trying to.
I should because getting texts from you would be great. Voice to text in, voice to text out.
All right, but how much better is like with these Galaxy Pro ones and this new phone? Like once I got the voice to text thing to Google, it's amazing.
Dude, my mom
it really never messes up. The only problem is punctuation. It doesn't do so good. So
you have to like
run on sentences.
You have to like say period or exclamation point.
No, if I said question mark, it'll write out question mark.
It just must not make
you probably got to pause. You have to have a natural pause. You know what it is? Now the periods make a lot of sense because when talking to John, he does just kind of pause. He'll say a word, you know, to fill out
Are you
a
talking
full
about
sentence.
talking to me live?
Yeah.
Oh.
Live. Yeah. So then I wonder if your phone is just adding a sentence because when you text me, it's like word period, word period, word period. So I assume you're typing.
No,
Now
those are what
it's-
I'm typing. My fingers are really fat, and trying to hit the space bar hits the period bar or period button all the time.
When you type, you should do the little swipey thing.
Oh, I always forget about that.
Yeah.
Patrick and I found a very interesting site once.
Oh boy.
Hello.to or something like that.
Okay.
Do you remember that? Don't bring it up.
I don't know. I don't know what
It was something like that because I sent him a text and it said hello.
Oh, then it made it a link.
Right, it made it a link, and it was a very spicy link. So
I don't remember that.
how do you not remember that?
Was it me?
All right. Over the last 30 days, here are the most active users on Meatgistics. We've got Denny O at 351 posts. We got Call Doc Today at 269, Salmon Master at 267, Steven Winscott, at 210, Gus 4416 181, and then rounding out the people over 100 were C Davis, GWG 8541, Possum, David AZ, and Process Head.
Can you repeat all that? I didn't.
I will not be repeating all that. We are done. And it didn't. Oh yeah, there it is. We also have a new feature where we get people who made their first post recently. Smadger, whichever one, joined on November 6th, made his first post on February 1st, and his reputation of 3 and a post count of 21 already. Mine, Manila Bob, made his first post a couple of days ago. Mongo O made 16 posts and has a reputation of 30. Mark Brown has 14 posts and made reputation of 30. Are these guys all just liking each other's posts constantly?
Probably.
Do we create a newbie section? They're all just like, yeah, like my post.
Pack. Yeah.
That's gotta build this reputation.
I mean, that's a good 14 and 30 is a good reputation.
Not bad.
So we're getting a lot of new users. Rounding that out was Dylan Jacob 1, Mike Ski 85, Valskim, and Buddy.
Is that a new user?
Buddy?
How has no one used?
No. These aren't necessarily new users. These are people who joined or made their first post recently. Now, that person is also a new user.
How has no one claimed the name Buddy over the past 7 years now?
That's a good
There's
question.
probably a lot of simple just.
That is a good question.
I'm going to go
People's
through and
first
start
name.
reserving all
Just
kinds of fun
interesting
names,
ones?
making fake accounts for myself just to.
Have a burner Meatgistics account.
Yeah.
But how many emails do you have?
As many as I want, plus address.
Austin plus. Yeah.
Wait, can I just have? I'm going to start making a lot of profiles that's like him with a mustache.
Just make the mustache progressively crazier
yeah. Just get
on each one. What's his name from Sonic?
Jim Carrey,
But who was the bad guy?
Dr. Robotnik.
There you go. All right. Going to Meat Matters. We're going to go to the end really quick. Just because I found this one interesting. This was from Meeting Place. It says, better together, wings and football. According to the National Chicken Council, chicken wing consumption was estimated at 1.45 billion wings while watching the Super Bowl, just during the time the Super Bowl was on. The NCC, I don't think the National Chicken Council gets just a 3-letter abbreviation.
That sounds awesome.
But it's like, they'd be like, the JPT.
Yeah.
Like, nobody knows what that is.
Where'd you go to school at? The NCC? Did
Yeah, come on. What do you? That does create problems every once in a while when I'm talking to people and they say the CIA. I knew that from when I was in high school because I had 2 friends from high school who went to the CIA, like Culinary Institute of America.
Yeah.
But I was telling somebody, I'm like, oh, well, you should go to the CIA. And their mother looked at me and was like, wants to be a chef. I was like, yes, I understand. Not the Central Intelligence Agency. But anyways, the NCC 2024 Wing Report put this number into some perspective. 1.45 billion wings are enough for every man, woman, and child to eat 4 wings each. If the Chiefs coach Andy Reid ate 50 wings a day, it would take him 79,452 years to eat all the wings. Right?
Pick something.
The total amount of wings consumed in one day on Super Bowl Sunday is enough to place 693 wings on every seat in all 30 NFL stadiums. I find that one more weird than the Andy Reid one.
Yeah.
Like, why are we placing wings.
Well,
on seats?
tell me, all right, take the population of everyone at the Super Bowl, then tell me how many filled stadiums it takes to eat that.
Sure, that would work. Also, tell me how many miles that is, like stretched end to end. That would be a
how
good
many
one.
football fields?
How many football fields would be
Perfect.
amazing?
Can we get? I
Or
mean,
get a volume of them and tell me which stadiums it would completely fill up.
fill up.
Like, those are good.
That's good.
Those,
God, rewrite that article.
right?
Who actually eats wings on the Super Bowl? I don't think in my 34 years of existence, I don't think I've ever ate a wing on the Super Bowl Sunday. Like,
I probably
always-
have.
I didn't
but
this year, but I almost
didn't-
always do.
I don't prep to go out of the way. My team's not in there, you know,
Right.
so it's hard to even get jazzed for it. But I kind of don't have a palate for wings on that day. I don't know what it is. I'm probably wearing a jersey, and I don't want to have sticky, nasty stuff on my hands. And so I'm trying to think what it is because I'm kind of with you, but like at the same time, I want to promote wings on the Super Bowl like we do. So it's hard to do.
Anytime anyone says wings, I want wings. I read that article earlier today. I was like, yeah, I'm having wings tonight.
I'm kind of a breaded wing kind of guy though myself.
yeah, does it count like popcorn chicken? Because that's
Ooh.
probably where I'd go with things. I don't want wings. I'd
it does not count.
take like chicken nuggets,
Doesn't count popcorn.
Tenders.
That's not a wing.
a nice dip.
boneless wings.
Ugh.
I bet they're counting boneless wings.
They probably are.
Oh, way. Asterisk.
That changes
Come
things
on.
a bit.
That is, I mean, let's just count kids' chicken nuggets all year. Like, what's the difference?
Technically, you could probably.
Thanks for
classify that
ruining
as
what was a fun story.
You're welcome.
Now I'm sad. All right. Moving on to the main story. This is beef forging ahead with consumers. Now, this is the article that made me reach out to Greg. We're going to review a good amount of it, but just for some background before I dive into it. Key factors that you have to keep in mind are that 88% of those who are surveyed in this study found that they thought inflation was unusually high. And of those, 67% thought that the main driving factor in that was food. So what they were spending at the grocery store and restaurants. All right. So keeping that in mind, how does that all play out in the meat case? Not like you think. In mid-January, an analysis released in 2020, analysis released of the 2023 year-end results for retail meat sales. A couple of items are specifically significant. December 23, beef's monthly sale comp was the clear winner. Total sales were up nearly 5%, while fresh meat sales in general were down. So even with beef increasing 5%, when you take all fresh meat together, it was down. The 52-week comparables, beef generated the largest dollar gain, 1.6, across the entire protein sector. Now compare chicken's year-over-year dollar comp sales. The dollar increase is directly associated with volume growth. However, for beef, it's the other way around, more dollars on lower volume. So if you look at this chart down there, you'll see in December 2023, beef up 4.8%, where the pound amount was down 3.2%. Chicken was down 1.4% and was up 0.1%. So those higher prices at the grocery store are what is driving this. But it turns out that people aren't just giving up on beef. There probably are more people like me out there than, well, maybe not like me, but of the same mind with beef than we anticipated. Pricing power. All that speaks to the beef industry's continued pricing power in the marketplace. That's especially significant given consumers are especially ouchy about inflation. I found that term to be pretty funny. Ouchy. One would expect that consumers would have been more prone to trading down when inflation is front of mind. Why is that occurring? It's because the product continues to get better. The 2022 National Beef Quality Audit survey respondents, when asked, what are the strengths of the steer and heifer industry, reinforce that reality. The results detailed below note that product quality gets consistently cited across all categories of industry participants. So it's a table. It's got a bunch of information on it, but really nothing we're going to be talking about too much. All right, should be and should not be happening. Now let's turn to the pork industry. Sales results reveal a sharp decline, negative 5.3% in 2023. Remember, we've talked a lot about how Chinese people are eating a lot less pork as well. The industry's challenges were underscored in a recent Wall Street Journal article. Wall Street Journal. Darn it. Wall Street Journal.
Go have a
article.
buggo after
It's
this.
journal article that's giving me the tough.
Just say the WSJ.
WSJ. We're not eating enough bacon, and that's a problem for the economy. That was the title of that article. The first sentence reads like this. The American pork industry has a problem. It makes more tenderloin, ham, sausage, and bacon than anybody wants to eat. The column featured a 27-year-old consumer in Chicago, the kind of person pork producers hope to win over. And one the beef industry needs to win over too. Mr. Rasmussen said he eats steak and burgers when they fit his budget and picks chicken wings when trying to save on his grocery bill, and then remarks, pork is kind of a third thought. That's me to a T. I will eat beef when I have both the time and not worried about what I'm spending at the grocery store. I'll eat chicken when either one of those two things interfere with that, and pork is a distant third.
I don't know. I'm more apt to buy pork at the store than probably beef or chicken, just because I look at chicken, and chicken's, to me, it's too expensive. Like I want to pay less per pound than what chicken is right now. And I don't see another way to like get around that. With like pork, like you can still get I can still get larger quantities of pork that are reasonably priced. That's a whole lot less than chicken. And then beef, buying like the half a beef at a time, that's cheaper. And I've been going through like all of that. So I'm not buying it from the grocery store, but I think it probably just depends on where people are getting stuff. Just maybe going to shift what they do. Like buy more, especially if you go to the store. It always drives me nuts and seeing like a pack of like boneless pork chops sitting out and like people paying like $4 or $5 a pound. And it's like, you could go get the pork loin for $2 a pound.
Yeah.
And just cut your own.
Yeah.
And but you do that and it's a lot cheaper.
Sometimes they're even slightly seasoned. So that adds even more value. Yeah, never.
If it was from your local processor or a meat
Something
market,
different.
I'd be like, okay, I'd try that.
Sure.
I'm not doing that from like
Dillon's
a big box store.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
All right, forging ahead. Let's put this all together. Good things happening for the beef industry, all the while when consumers are looking for cheaper alternatives. They're price shopping, but they're not, at least not when it comes to beef. And those added dollars flowing into the business helped underpin 2023's record market. All of this underscores the importance of maintaining a consumer focus. Make beef better and promote it effectively. Build it and they will come. So, very good article. I was very impressed with that. Your father sent me this one. Colorado beef may soon be graded by a person looking at a picture. So we've talked about this in the past. Just wanted to point out that it's coming to more and more places. My computer won't open that link. But it does have something also about mobile slaughter in there. So I was thinking about that. That's a little bit interesting. However, what would it be used? Like, there's no mobile slaughter that's USDA. Are there?
I don't know why it couldn't be.
Okay.
It's a lot harder to do that.
But if it can be, that opens up a whole new world for ranchers.
I don't know.
You have 20 ranchers in Idaho, right? And instead of spending however many tens of millions of dollars to build a plant between them all, or just losing their profits, instead, one of them becomes a mobile butcher, or they bring in a mobile butcher and they're USDA inspected and they just go around to all of their facilities. And then all of those places are USDA inspected and can sell to whoever. That doesn't sound right.
Yeah, so USDA has like official guidelines they put out on
More like guidelines.
mobile slaughter unit compliance guide. And that's to be honest, that's the thing always to remember is it a guide or is this actually coming out of law? But if it's a guide, it should be based on it. It should be good. But they obviously can do it. Although the first document I pull up, there's it might be kind of old. There's a bolded line talking about floppy disks and CD-ROMs.
Oh, there you go. Good.
It says this was put out in 2021 though. So it's just the government and they're behind the times. But to be honest, I haven't heard as much about mobile slaughter. I used to hear more about it. I'm also, I don't know. I also used to sit in the sales room, like
Right.
back in the day. I don't anymore. But I don't know if that's like a reasonable thing that people can do. I would think it's probably one of those things that it's possible. It's just cost prohibitive, but I don't know.
When I was in customer service, we had 2 or 3 mobile slaughter customers that would call them fairly consistently. So, nope. All right. Auction prices boom for dairy beef calves. This is a first thing I found to talk about this week, but I can't open anything. Nothing will open.
This is my podcast.
Let me close everything. Oh, there it goes. It opens. So it's not a long article, but I want to just read at least a couple sections of it. Auction prices for beef type calves and other categories have hit record high, and the meaty trend is expected to continue for a while. According to Dave Wirt, president of Ag Market News, a service that tracks livestock auction prices in Pennsylvania and Maryland, supply and demand, especially with beef cross and Holstein bull calves, is driving the force. There's just not enough of them to go around. Beef type calves are bringing up to $8 per pound, so dairy farmers are breeding their cows with Angus. In turn, there are fewer Holstein calves, so they're going to go up too. As of February 12th, beef cross halves brought $6.50 to 8 cents per pound at some auctions. Considering a week-old animal may weigh around 100 pounds, the profits have never been better for farmers. The price of a Holstein bull calves has also skyrocketed, Wirt said, climbing from an average of $1.50 per pound a couple of years ago to $5 per pound today. So, are we starting to see the turnaround for ranchers? I mean, it kind of sounds like it, right?
I would assume so, based on what they're saying. Prices are climbing.
Now, we might be... these are the auction houses selling these. So I don't know what that relationship is like between the auction houses and the actual ranchers. But if the ranchers know that the auction houses are selling it for $8, it's not like they're going to be like, okay, I'll take $1 a pound, something like that. But moving on, he expects robust prices to continue. Wirt said when prices hit the $8 mark, things might cool to the $6 range, but that's still strong. We're in uncharted territory. I've never seen prices like this. As price rise, the risk for buyers follows. As prices rise, the risk... Okay, that makes sense. A buyer bidding $7.50 for beef type calves has a lot more initial cost in those animals, and a lot can happen during the 18 to 24 months that they're finished. That's one reason why more smaller frame calves in the 80 to 95 pound range are being sold for dairy beef rather than just going to the veal farm. So I thought that was really interesting. Thought it was some good news. We've had quite a few doom and gloom meat matters things in the past, so I thought we would change that. Next one is how fast food and big beef are helping High Plains ranchers save dwindling native grasslands. So we don't need to go into a huge section of this, just a couple of things that I thought were interesting, showing some of the good stuff the ranchers do. And 2 quotes were, Bain, who's one of the ranchers, has a long history with these grasslands. He was a rancher in the area for 12 years before taking over the initiative. He calls grassland the most imperiled native ecosystem on Earth. Part of the reason is because they are often overlooked, but they provide a lot of benefit, including clean air, carbon storage, habitats for prairie species, and food supplies. Their problem is they don't have any of what is known as charismatic megafauna predators. Like, there are no lions on our grasslands, right? So, like it or not, that's what people get all up in arms about. Like, when somebody wants to go clear cut the Amazon, everyone's like, what about the jaguar? What about the anaconda? Like, they want something big and cool to look at. And bison just don't do it. And the other one is ranchers are the reason we still have any grassland in a very basic sense, which is very possibly true. Very, very possibly true. All right. Pork and ham recall as fears grow over listeria outbreak. According to the CDC, the ongoing outbreak has led to 26 cases of illness since 2014. There's been way more cases than 26 since 2014 of listeria, of which there have been 23 hospitalizations and 2 deaths across 11 states, the largest proportion of cases occurring in California. That since 2014 thing is wrong. I don't Since it's got to be since February 14th. That's what it is. I don't know why it copied as 2014.
No, it's 2014.
It can't be. They must have meant more. Listeria gets
just from pork though.
Oh,
if it's just from pork, to be honest, I especially coming from like more of a mainstream news and not like, because like one of the articles you had was like the Nebraska Public something. Right. This is not that.
No,
this is more
Newsweek.
Yeah. So,
you too.
And
you didn't.
We've been in here too long. I set myself for do not disturb.
Oh, we started early. Darn it. All right. I'll run through these real quick. Infection with Listeria bacteria can cause a number of symptoms, with the worst affected usually being those weakened immune systems, older, younger, blah, blah, blah. Severe is fever, headache, fatigue, vomiting, diarrhea, and confusion. That does kind of sound like us over the last few weeks. Taco Bell unveils 8 new menu items. One of them's chicken nuggets. I found that interesting. We're speed running through this, so don't worry. Okay. Drug to treat severe food allergies, including nuts, goes to the FDA for approval. You have to take it every 2 to 4 weeks, and you still can't eat nuts. So is it really curing it? It's just going to help prevent anaphylactic shock.
Wait, but does it make your allergy go away?
No. It just prevents you from going into anaphylactic shock.
Oh, well, solution there, go do immunotherapy. Yeah. That's possible. My son had a peanut allergy and he's almost got rid of it. It's next time we get tested, it should be gone.
You think so?
Uh-huh.
No.
What about regular shock? Like if you're just surprised at something?
No, it's not going to help with that.
Oh.
Our bodies need vitamin D. Here's what happens when you don't get enough. Brain fog, joint pain, depression, insomnia, and low immune function. Basically,
the sun.
2023 to 2024 for
the sun
all of
helps
us.
You.
Yeah.
That's one supplement I didn't used to take. I take vitamin D now.
Yeah.
Because
that's a good one.
Don't get enough.
And then real quick, wild card section. Starbucks releases a pork flavored coffee in China. The reviews for it are very high.
Makes sense because there's coffee flavored barbecue rubs. So why not flip the script and make a coffee flavored?
I was initially very against this, but you've sold me on it right there.
I wouldn't touch it. No. I'll be honest.
Good Lord, no. I'm not drinking that.
It would have to be, you'd have to pay me to do it.
Yeah. A cougar attacks 5 mountain bikers in Washington State. So it attacked one woman, put her in hospital. And then the other ones, it didn't really attack them so much as they attacked it. They pinned it down with one of the bikes and held it there until wildlife could get there and kill it. And then they said there might have been another mountain lion involved in the attack, but they couldn't find it.
That's actually kind of impressive they were able to hold it down.
Right? That's what I thought.
I think that'd be hard.
It's like the problem with the tiger's tail. Yeah, you can grab the tiger's tail, but at some point you got to let go.
Uh-huh.
Right? So is it better to like let that cat keep swiping at you while you have a bike between you and it, or just hope you let it go and it runs away? Because once you let it up, if it comes back at you, you're in some trouble.
Pin it down. Have 4 of you pin it down and send someone else to go find some big rocks and smash
its head.
Yeah.
All right. Maharashtra, I think it was India. Man enters the river for fishing and a shark bites his leg. So they killed the shark. That looks like a tiger shark to me. That does not look like a bull shark. If it is a bull shark, it is a huge bull shark. And I do mean enormous.
It's so blurry. I have no idea what's there. No. It could be a dolphin. Like
I'm pretty sure by the snout that it is a tiger shark, but the tiger sharks don't go up rivers. So maybe it was just one of those, like, they call it a river, but it's not really a river. All right. Ralston Road shooting. This happened in Nebraska. A suspect allegedly shot somebody trying to steal some of their barbecue equipment. Tex sent me that one, so I figured
I was gonna say, I think I've already read it.
Tex sent it to us.
That's nuts.
Just don't mess with another man's barbecue. And it was up in his neck of the woods too, so it made me laugh. We don't really have time to watch this, but this video is insane. That shark wants to eat those people so bad that it literally kills itself trying to get in the cage. And it does get in the cage. I mean, mostly. Those guys have to exit the cage.
Warning, content contains scenes some viewers may find distressing.
I think all viewers would find this distressing. Watch this. So, boom, hits him. And then it's like, no, I'm getting in there. Yep. I've seen you people in these cages for way too long taking pictures of me. I don't want to have a picture taken of me. I'm coming to eat you.
Oh,
and then it gets its gills caught. And so blood starts coming out through the gills. But it gets basically all the way in the cage, and then it died.
Is there like an emergency escape hatch on those things?
Yep.
So if it comes in,
It's because it's far from the only time that has happened.
That's nuts.
Yeah. Still, the craziest one is the guy who was floating in the clear plexiglass one. You've seen that, right? You've never seen this? All right, real
I don't
quick.
think so.
Just real quick. Watch this. Because it is truly nuts. This was on the most recent Shark Week. And this idiot thinks that he's going to be fine, but this shark destroys this cage in, I mean, it's not even remotely hard for it. It's not coming, I would say, somewhere around half speed, and just plows right through the cage. And they have to come out and get him. What is this? I don't want to watch Drive Away Dolls.
Do you don't have YouTube? Oh, you're logged in as Walton's.
I have to remember to cancel my YouTube TV. I got it for the ticket, and then the Commanders stunk all year. Biggest waste of a couple $100
Dude,
ever.
you've lived in Kansas long enough. Just be a Chiefs fan.
I'm not. I hate the Chiefs. Watch. Just, I mean, maybe half speed.
Oh yeah, that wasn't even
Right.
He
It was
wasn't
just
even
like,
trying.
I'm going to come up and check you out and see what's up in there. I can see through it.
Looks like very thin plexiglass. Let's
boom.
just comment on that. That looks dumb.
And that is a big shark. Big shark. I was rooting for the shark there, to be honest. If you want to do things that stupid, whatever. I want to watch that.
Yeah, that's insane.
All right. That's it. We will see you guys next week.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks for checking out the Meatgistics podcast. To shop everything but the meat, head on over to waltons.com. To get your meat processing questions answered by experts and enthusiasts alike, head on over to our online community at meatgistics.com. Waltons, everything but the meat.